If you're like most educators, then the idea of sending an email to your list every single day probably fills you with dread. You probably think, is there any faster way to completely piss off my entire audience? And yet, for me, daily emails are one of the most powerful marketing and sales strategies that exist. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly why that is. In case you don't know me, my name is Olly. I'm the founder of StoryLearning.com, a seven-figure online education business. I'm also a mentor and advisor to other online education entrepreneurs. Now, I remember when I was first told about daily emails. It was my friend Anthony Mativier from magneticmemory.com. We were sitting in my flat in London, and I remember him telling me, hey Ollie, there's this guy called Ben Settle who sends emails to his list every single day. And I said, surely not, you start raving mad every day, who does that? But then sure enough, after a few years at my business StoryLearning.com, we ended up emailing people every single day for a period of a few months after you first joined, because it is just that powerful. So why are daily emails so powerful? Because they do fill most people with complete and utter dread. Well, there are four main reasons. First of all, when you send daily emails, you solve a burning problem if your audience has one. Secondly, it keeps you top of mind so people know who you are. Third, it allows you to use entertainment as engagement. And fourth, it allows you to create a very quick and effective feedback loop between yourself and your audience. Now, before I explain all these four things, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, and I've got them written down here, Ollie, I wouldn't read an email every single day myself. It's too much work for me as the founder, and people will unsubscribe from my list. So don't worry, I'm going to address all of those things a little bit later. But first, let's talk about the four reasons I just gave for daily emails being so powerful. Now, the problem for a lot of businesses is that they actually don't solve a problem that is burning enough for their audience. I remember once hearing a story about a dating coach who sent 5 emails a day. And the reason he sent 5 emails a day was because, you know, when you break up with your girlfriend, you really want to get my emails and you want to get 5 of them a day because you've got a real serious problem that you want solving. And so assuming that you are actually solving a burning problem within your niche to your audience, then communicating with them daily about that problem is the best way to go, because when someone has a burning problem, they want to hear solutions and they want to hear them all the time. Sending an email once a week, like so many people do, just doesn't cut it. But the other thing that daily emails do, of course, is to keep you top of mind. Now, I learned this a little last year when I first started my email newsletter, and I realized that the newsletters have become so popular that people were subscribing to newsletters left, right, and center willy-nilly. And I realized in my own inbox, I didn't know who half the people were who were actually emailing me. And so what I realized was that sending daily emails performs a very important function, which is keeping you top of mind so people remember who you are. And again, assuming that you are solving somebody's problem, being top of mind is absolutely essential. If not, you get buried in someone's inbox and eventually you get unsubscribed to. So daily emails keep you relevant. The third is learning to use entertainment as engagement. Because if you are going to send emails every day, guess what? You've got to be interesting and you've got to be entertaining. Basically, you have to find ways to actually send interesting stuff daily to your audience so that they open it, click it, remain subscribed, and actually become an evangelist for you and your brand, which forces you to do that. I remember recently I got hooked on this channel by a guy called Uncle Roger, who does sort of comedy reviews of people cooking Asian food and completely screwing it up. And I absolutely loved it because I'm someone who, I like cooking, I like Asia, I like Asian food. I lived in Japan for a bunch of years. So finding this channel was like a fantastic fusion of all these things that I loved. And so not only was I learning, but I was being entertained. And his videos, I would watch them every single time I had a bit of downtime. So sometimes I'd be watching 4 or 5 videos a day from this guy. And so what you need to do when you're sending daily emails is be the equivalent of this. Be interesting, be entertaining. And when you can do that, you'll find that people will stay completely engaged with what you're doing. And last but not least, autoresponders are great. But when you're sending daily emails, when you're getting up, thinking about what to write and actually composing an email every day, it's creating this really great feedback loop, because guess what? You get replies from people. People tell you what they like, what they don't like. This gives you really serious intel about your business, about your audience, and tells you what you can do to educate them and to entertain them as well. And that feedback loop is a really dynamic thing, and it really helps you just become a better servant to your audience and produce more engaging, gripping content overall. So for all those reasons, daily emails are really one of the best things that you can do. But of course, there are a bunch of reasons why you wouldn't want to do that. First of all, you yourself might not read an email every day. And indeed, I wouldn't, because as an entrepreneur, I'm very protective over my time and attention. And so I don't read emails every day. You probably don't either. But guess what? Your audience is not you. And just because you don't do something, it doesn't mean that your audience won't. And often when someone is subscribed to your list, again, assuming that you're solving a burning problem and that you're getting the fundamentals right, actually reading a daily email to solve that problem is something that a lot of people will do. And I dare say, if you were to actually land on a problem, a real burning problem that you are experiencing, maybe it's a business problem, maybe you're struggling to figure out how to grow. If someone is writing to you every day about that specific thing, you may well find yourself reading that daily email. For someone like you in your position, there isn't that much content out there, but that's not to say that it wouldn't elicit that response from you if it existed. And of course, the other objection is it sounds like too much work for the founder. Do you really have time to be writing daily emails? Well, the thing is, when you practice this, you can get daily emails down to a 5, 10, 15-minute thing. There's no reason that you should be spending any more than 10, 15 minutes writing an email. Daily newsletters need to be short. They need to be dynamic, just like a 5-minute YouTube video that just perfectly fills that spot between lunch and your afternoon work session. That's the purpose. But beyond that, if daily emails result in sales, which they should if you do them properly, can you think of a better thing that you should be doing as founder? See, I would personally much rather build a team, outsource, delegate all the other things in my business and focus on doing the activity that actually makes me sales. And that's something that a lot of the time people are too quick to outsource. I have many friends who have come to me and said, Olly, how can I outsource my emails? But in an online education business, emails are one of the most important things in the entire business. And so I think they should be the last thing that you get rid of. But Olly, people will unsubscribe from my list. Yes, they will. And that is a good thing. And let me tell you why. If you're solving that burning problem, it means you are also going to be able to be effective at selling because you're offering a solution. And daily emails will mean that the wrong people will unsubscribe. People that don't have the problem that you're solving. People who for some reason don't want the solution that you're offering. Sending daily emails is the quickest way to help people figure out whether they want this thing from you or not. You could say, well, I could just send an email a week and that will annoy people less. Well, it will, but it will also just slow down the time it takes them to actually figure out whether they want that thing from you or not. So daily emails, it just cuts to the chase. It makes for this vibrant, dynamic business. That is why I am so bullish on daily emails and why I think you should do it too. Now, in the description below, I'm going to link to a newsletter that I wrote where I actually show you some examples of daily emails, how I write them, and how you can follow this formula to write quick daily emails too. But if you enjoyed this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Doing that really helps me grow on YouTube. But also, you should check out this video over here where I show you exactly how I run my entire email system from beginning to end within Story Learning, including daily emails, but also an awful lot more. Go and click that video over there. Go on.